Welcome to News9 Mediaverse, and you are watching On Point with me. And let me begin with the first On Point. As the Muslim quota debate takes center stage, this election season, Prime Minister Narendra Modi took a jab at RJD Chief Lalu Yadav for backing Muslim reservations. Prime Minister Modi slammed RJD Chief Lalu Yadav for backing Muslim reservations. RJD Chief Lalu Prasad reiterated his support for the Muslim quota, reigniting a debate that has overtaken the Lok Sabha election. While the opposition claims that BJP is secretly plotting to scrap quota altogether, the BJP has accused the Congress of favouring Muslim reservations over existing quotas for SC, STs and OBCs.
मुसलमानों को आप लोग आरक्षण दे रहे हैं, ओबीसी का लेकर मुसलमानों को दे रहे हैं।
रिजर्वेशन तो मिलना चाहिए मुसलमानों को।
The BJP quickly capitalized the issue, incorporated in the electoral narrative. Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasized inclusivity in reservation policies, stating benefits should extend to all marginalized community regardless of religion. I feel it's a change, a subtle change of goalposts.
एक और व्यक्ति ने कहा कि कांग्रेस पर मुस्लिम लीगियों और माओवादियों ने कब्जा कर लिया है। तीसरे ने एक और गहरी साजिश से पर्दा उठा दिया। उन्होंने कहा कि कांग्रेस के शाहजादे का इरादा राम मंदिर पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले को पलटने का है। जैसे शहजादे जी ने पिताजी ने सहबानो केस में सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला पलटा था, वैसे ही कांग्रेस राम मंदिर का फैसला पलटने के लिए सोच रही है। कांग्रेस तो चुप है, लेकिन आज इनके एक बड़े साथी ने इंडी गठबंधन के इरादों पर मुहर लगा दी। उनके एक नेता जो चारा खाने के कारण जेल में है, जो पशुओं का चारा खा गए और अदालत ने जिनको सजा दी है, अदालत ने उनको सजा दी है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक सबने मान्य किया कि इन्होंने भ्रष्टाचार किया है। ऐसे उनके सागरित और इनकी बेशर्मी देखो। वो अभी जमानत पे आए हैं बाहर तबीयत के कारण। जेल में कैद थे, कैदी है, गुनहगार है और अदालत ने उनको गुनहगार बना दिया है जी। अरे आपके गांव में भी अगर कोई 6 महीने जेल सजा काट करके आए ना, तो गांव वाले भी दूर रहते हैं, बेटी का व्यवहार करने से दूर रहते हैं। ये कांग्रेस वाले इतने गिर चुके हैं कि उनको माथे पे बिठा के नाच रहे हैं। अच्छा, उन्होंने क्या कहा? अभी अभी कहा है, पिछले 24 घंटे में ही उन्होंने कहा, ऐसे हाथ पछाड़ के बोल रहे हैं, मुसलमानों को आरक्षण मिलना चाहिए। और सिर्फ आरक्षण नहीं मिलना चाहिए, वो कहते हैं कि पूरा का पूरा आरक्षण मुसलमानों को मिलना चाहिए। इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? यानी एससी, एसटी, ओबीसी समाज को जितना आरक्षण मिला है वो छीनकर ये लोग पूरा का पूरा आरक्षण मुसलमानों को देना चाहते हैं।
I'm joined by Jayant Bhattacharya, Ajit Keja in studio. I'm joined by Ashok Bagria and Bijesh Pandey. But let me first go to Ajit. Ajit, these are the two bites which I played. They are in consistent form in which the Prime Minister has been attacking the opposition on the Muslim reservation. There's a bite which we skipped. I'll play it again. That was something which he gave to ANI, explaining his position on reservation based on religion and reservation based on backwardness. My question to you, before we get into those bites in which he has tried explaining his position, why is Prime Minister reiterating again and again, one, that it's going to go to Muslims, and then if that's the case, why is he re-explaining his position? If he wants to take one position, why is he re-explaining it also?
See, Kartikeya, this election has become exactly like the election of, if you remember the late 80s, 1991, VP Singh versus the BJP at that time, Kamandal versus Mandal. And the issue is reservation. The India Alliance has every time attacked BJP, the Prime Minister. They have quoted several BJP leaders who said that we want the 400 par in order to change the constitution and get rid of reservation, as Rahul Gandhi in almost every speech goes ahead and points out. And obviously, what has happened as a result is that the reservation has become the main agenda of this election. So the Prime Minister is obviously lobbying back. He's throwing a bouncer at India Alliance by changing the entire basis of reservation. His argument that the Constitution, Article 15, for example, begins by saying you cannot discriminate on the grounds of religion. So his argument is that religion cannot be the basis of a reservation. Now, the India Alliance will argue, on the other hand, that the same Article 15 talks about educationally and socially backward classes. It doesn't mention backward caste. So backward classes becomes a broad category for all backward citizens of the country. In fact, it even includes women and children at one stage in Article 15. And later on, it doesn't clarify, but it is open to interpretation. And we know that on the issue of reservation for educationally and socially backward classes, several states, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh.
But a lot of people say that it is like creating a backdoor entry for Muslims in the quota system. You just say that it's not because of the religion, it's because of the social backwardness. Jayanto, your thoughts on it?
Kartikeya, you remember sometimes back, Rahul Gandhi, I think it was on some social media handle, he had alleged that the BJP would be soon doing away with reservation of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and OBCs. Now, if you see, after that, all the BJP leaders, they were trying to justify, they were trying to, their position, trying to explain their position regarding that allegation. Now, this time, if you listen to the question, the journalist asking the question, he first asks about reservation from Muslims, and after that he adds whether or not it will be at the cost of OBC. That is not the exact translation. He asked in Hindi. But Lalu Yadav, he answers and then after a pause said pura, that is entirely. Now, Lalu Prasad Yadav, as you know very well, Kartikeya, he is a very good orator. He speaks in rustic language, but he always is able to send the message home. So in this case, yeah, age is catching up with him. I do agree. He is not keeping well. I do agree. But at the same time, Lalu Prasad being Lalu Prasad, is there something that he was trying to, a message that he was trying to send across? But later, if you see that he has
Jayanto, you hit the word, it's messaging, it's messaging. It's pretty much nuanced, whether you get the reservation because you are socially backward or the fact that are you getting the reservation from being a minority group. This nuance is lost on the large number of people. Let's listen to the Prime Minister's interview given to ANI.
हम कहेंगे भाई इस समाज में अगर पंथ के आधार पर देखें तो इस संप्रदाय में इस प्रकार की जाति व्यवस्था का वर्णन करेंगे और इस समाज में हम कभी नहीं करेंगे। क्या वहाँ भी समाज के और वर्गों में जातियाँ नहीं हैं? ऊंच नीच नहीं है, वहाँ पर बैकवर्ड नहीं। अब जैसे मेरे यहाँ गुजरात में मुस्लिम संप्रदाय में मैं समझता हूँ कि 70 जातियाँ ऐसी हैं जो ओबीसी हैं, और मेरे गुजरात में जब मैं था उनको ओबीसी की कैटेगरी में बेनिफिट मिलता था।
Okay. Ashok, the larger debate is, as Ajit said, it has become Mandal versus Kamandal. But there is also nuance. And the nuance is that there are jatis in Muslim, there are jatis in Hindus, there are jatis in Buddhists, there are jatis in Sikhs, maybe there are jatis in other samudayas also. And if your jati is socially backward, the state commissions accommodate you, provide you certain benefits which allows social mobility in your society. Why is this nuance getting lost in this election? Or does it mean that the consensus that the people from other communities, even if backward, but if they are from other religion, should not get quotas?
Okay, so as far as this whole reservation hotcake is concerned, you have to understand that as far as the Constitution of India is concerned, it permits reservations in 3 or 4 categories. One for the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward castes, and economically and weaker section. That was as recent as 2022 when the Supreme Court upheld the government policy of providing or enabling 10% EWS quota. Now, as far as the Muslims are concerned, are you trying to give them reservations under the scheduled caste category? The answer is a no. Because there is a case which is pending in the Supreme Court where the Muslims are saying that please, we are Dalit Muslims, we are scheduled caste, we converted to Islam, but despite conversion, we have not been able to wipe off our caste tag. We still continue to be scheduled castes even among the Muslims, number one. That issue is pending in the Supreme Court. Number two, you think of giving reservations to Muslims under the OBC category. So now as far as the OBC category is concerned, the Constitution says that irrespective of religion, caste, class, any community which is socially and educationally backward, you can give them reservations. Such reservations are being given by Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh. These matters are also pending in the Supreme Court because somebody has challenged saying that you cannot give a sub-quota of reservations to Muslims under the OBC categories, or rather you cannot call them OBCs. The third thing is economically weaker section. When look at the word economically weaker section, what are we talking about? Economically weaker section, or the class and class of people who fall into the economically weaker section can be Brahmins, Kshatriyas, who have lost out on money and have become economically poor. So now the question is, do you want to send the Muslims into the EWS category so as they compete with the higher castes, or do you want to push them into the OBC category where they are rightly placed, or do you want to push them into the scheduled caste category, which is a matter pending in the Supreme Court? So what the states have done and traditionally been doing is that they have done some sort of a research, some sort of a census, some sort of a study on the Muslims in their states. They have identified certain sections of Muslim community who are socially and educationally backward and given reservation to them.
But I don't think, Brijesh, backwardness is an issue. I think the issue in the narrative is that something extra is being given to Muslims at the cost of the Hindus. That's the political narrative.
The only narrative is that, you are giving something to the Muslims. There is nothing else. At the cost is an added this thing to make it sound or butter it or sugarcoat it in the way. See, the thing is that it is not about Mandal versus Kamandal. It is all about Mandal and what you intend to do with it. If you remember, when Rahul Gandhi started saying that the reason why these people are asking for 400 seats, there were 500 narratives going on ever since the start of the campaign, Kartike. Remember, Modi ka parivar, everybody thought, oh my God, this is going to take election, swing election one way. Then came X, Y, Z, 50 things. The second Congress started harping on the fact that the reason why BJP MPs are asking for 400 seats is because they want to do away with reservation, they want to change the constitution and do away with the reservation, that has become the leitmotif of this entire election campaign as far as these three phases are concerned. To counter that, the BJP has come up with this, that you know what actually the Congress wants to do is that they want to give Muslims the reservation, and you know, to make it sound like, you know, as it make it a Hindu versus Muslim or a OBC versus Muslim issue. Otherwise, you know, this is the reason why of late, you know, you have stopped people hearing that, oh, it has nothing about change in constitution, is nothing about anything else. It is only about whether you are giving, whether the BJP's assertion is that they want to give reservations to Muslim and they want to exclude the OBCs which are there.
Okay, let me play out the bite of Jairam Ramesh, who introduces a different tangent to the debate.
Reservations were introduced for Muslims, for Christians, for Buddhists, for Jains, for scheduled caste converts into Christianity, on the grounds of economic and social backwardness. A survey was carried out, and based on that, a reservation of 4% was provided to Muslims, for example. Now, that's not giving reservations on the basis of religion, that's giving reservation on the basis of economic and social backwardness. Now, since 1994, there have been 4 BJP chief ministers in Karnataka. There have been 2 prime ministers for 16 years out of the last 30 years. 16 years BJP has ruled in the centre. Now, suddenly the Prime Minister discovers this as an issue. The real issue is that the Supreme Court, while it upheld the reservations for OBCs, said that the reservations for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and OBCs should not exceed 50%. They should 50% upper limit. Now, we have promised that we will review this limit and we will increase this limit, because Tamil Nadu is the only state of India where there is 69% reservation for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and OBCs, and that is protected in the 9th schedule of the Constitution. No other state is the reservation protected in this manner by the Constitution. So we want to increase the 50% limit. I want to ask the Prime Minister, he keeps on talking about धर्म के आधार पर हम आरक्षण दे रहे हैं, जो बिल्कुल 100% गलत है, झूठ है। मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी से पूछना चाहता हूं, क्या ये आप 50% की सीमा हटाएंगे कि नहीं? Will you or will you not increase this limit? That's the issue.
Ajit, if I may use the Hindi word, ऐसा लगता है कि सख्त हिंदुत्व की मुलाकात कड़े मंडल से हो रही है.
Absolutely. In fact, this is exactly, and look at the irony of it. The man who introduced this debate, the man who started the caste survey in Bihar, both social survey, I mean the caste survey, as well as economic survey, and during whose chief ministership for the last 20 years, Pasmanda Muslims and several other Muslim categories, the Ajalafs, as you know, the Ansaris, the Julahas and others, have got reservation, and because of which they were very close to Nitish Kumar. That same Nitish Kumar has jumped on the other side, and the BJP is, in cahoots with him, or they are together today. So it's become like a complete. The whole debate has jumped around several times, but in the center of it is basically what I would call Mandal versus Kamandal, and what. Now, Jairam Ramesh, in your...
But the question to ask, Ajit, is why has Congress taken a hard Kamandal route? I mean, so why has Congress taken a position? In fact, actually, I would say that both Hindutva and Mandal actually put an end to the Congress story in North India. And Congress has chosen to go by the Mandal route now.
See, basically, the Congress has taken a massive risk. I completely agree with you. I mean, take the states of Himachal, Uttarakhand. You don't actually have anyone else much other than the upper caste and the scheduled caste. Hardly much OBC, hardly much, Muslims. So if you remember, leaders from there, the Congress leaders from Himachal, for example, openly opposed Rahul Gandhi when he introduced on October 9th, 2023, the issue of caste reservation. And I think that was one of the reasons why Congress lost so badly in Madhya Pradesh, for example. Because again, in Madhya Pradesh, the upper caste control, they are the dominant castes, right? You don't have the OBCs like in UP, like in Bihar, and some of the other states. So, but the Congress has taken a calculated risk. In their mind, the upper castes have anyway moved over to the BJP. So what they are trying to do, they feel that the OBCs have moved to the BJP as well because of Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah.
But you know, this brings me to a different question.
Trying to pull the OBCs away, the scheduled caste, the tribes away, and form a kind of a new coalition against Hindutva. I don't know if it will work.
They're trying to build a new coalition. Jayanto, in 2019, Congress tried soft Hindutva. From soft Hindutva, they have moved to hard mandal. You know, they're talking about caste census, it's hard mandal. They are talking about jitni sankhya, utni hissedari, utna haq. This is like Ram Manohar Lohia of 1960s. Sasopa. Pichhade paave, 100 mein 60. This was Sasopa. जिसकी जितनी संख्या वारी उसकी उतनी हिस्सेदारी. That was Kanshi Ram in 1986. And now these words are flowing in from the Congress party.
Indeed so, Kartik. In fact, Rahul Gandhi himself has said as much not too long back, and he has even reiterated over it. What I feel right now, the reason, the particular question that you asked right now, the reason for that is one that the new BJP, that is BJP 2, it's not only gets the support of the forward classes, whether Brahmins or whatever, Kshatriyas or whatever. But this new BJP has the support of the OBC also. And I know for myself, I have seen it, how their work has been done, especially in the border areas where I have seen, I don't know about the other areas, I have heard about them, but this I have seen, the border areas of Jharkhand, Bihar and West Bengal. There they have really worked, and I would say this has been going on for almost 2 decades. Yes, for almost 20 years. In those areas, they have worked among the tribals. And that is why you will see a lot of results, election results that have come, have moved towards the BJP. Also, the basic thing that they were, many of these India Alliance parties were doing was they were depending on MY. We know what MY is, Muslim and Yadav. But we have seen that here, not only Pasmanda, but if you see about the marriage law that has come, Muslim marriage law that has now come, wherein you just can't say talak, talak, talak and walk away. So all these work, they have given some base among a few Muslims also. So now, not only the Congress, but its alliance partners will also have to see that the particular vote bank, if I can put it that way, that they were looking at, perhaps there is a kind of an erosion. Maybe very little, even Yadavs have shifted to some extent. So maybe a little, but that erosion has happened. So when they are not able to do that kind of, in fact, if you talk about a soft or hard Hindutva, they have not been actually hit back or countered that Hindutva which is coming from the BJP. So now they have to work on an equation wherein they can for some way not stop this erosion, but at least get support from whatever is left of it.
You know, today I had a different interview session with Jairam. It was in Hindi. मैंने एक प्रश्न उनसे पूछा, जवाब उनका मैं कल दिखाऊंगा, आज नहीं दिखा सकता नेटवर्क के लिए. सवाल ये था कि आपके अंदाज में अगड़े पिछड़े हो गए और आपको फर्क ही नहीं पड़ रहा. Why is this gigantic shift taken place? Because the upper caste leadership had its place in the Congress party. Brijesh.
Well, I think they realized a touch too late of the power of arithmetic, where 10 is always bigger than 2. They were so hopelessly strung on 2 that they failed to realize the tectonic caste shift which is happening around them. You know, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi came, he's an OBC himself. He didn't have to sell the OBC card, and the BJP was working a lot on the OBC factors. In fact, Yadav minus OBC was firmly in the lap of the BJP, and that is the reason why the Congress woke up a lot late than anybody would have imagined a smart nubile political party to do to change it. And that is the reason why the Congress, though it realized laid. Very interestingly, Kartikeya, which is, I personally find it very interesting, is that the issue which many thought was not there at all, you know, when Nitish Kumar was talking about it, initially BJP was skeptical, saying that, oh no, we are opposed to it, then they agreed and all. And when Nitish Kumar shifted side, many thought this was the end of the power and the impact of caste survey. Now, much to a surprise and much to BJP's surprise, if you find one constant issue that is there, it is this only. And for a change, Congress seems to be on a slightly stronger wicket than the BJP as far as
or is it because of the fact that any political party which is new, or any political party which has been dusted twice in the hustings takes a radical route to come back to power?
Well, Kartikeya, to be very honest, you know, I didn't see Congress taking any radical change in all. You know, it was all started by Lalu Prasad Yadav and Nitish Kumar. You know, the entire talk of the caste survey, which completely forced the BJP to go on the back foot.
Okay.
And it was, you know, many thought that this will be end of it by Nitish Kumar shifting there. But
okay, so you know, this is how I'm going to sum up. Congress fought the election of 2019 on soft Hindutva, apart from many other things, but this hard mandal turn that has taken place is also a reflection, one, of Rahul Gandhi's politics. Second, it is also reflecting a sort of a consolidation which Congress wants to do in the south of India. And third, it also tells us this is truly, whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not, is Rahul Gandhi's Congress. This is not Sonia's Congress. It's completely different, and it is articulating itself on principal issues which are very close to Rahul Gandhi. So this was on point one. Thank you, Ajit. Thank you, Ashok. And thank you, Jayanto, for joining me. Brijesh, you continue to stay with me because it's time for On Point 2, but that will be after a break. And the On Point 2 will be the Prajwal Revanna sex abuse scandal. Will it impact BJP, JDS poll prospects in Karnataka in this Lok Sabha election? Will it affect the 14 seats?
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.